Yeah, YouTube. I'll give you a sticker at the end of that. So go ahead and state your name and tell me your ride. What are we looking at?
My name's Nick Camello, and I drive a 2008 Mazdaspeed 3.
Dude, now, as I was telling you before, back in 2010, 2011, the Mazda 2 just came out. And when I went to the Mazda dealer, when I was buying that car, I saw one of these on all black, brand spanking new. And I was like so jealous because this had like 271 horsepower, turbocharged 2.3. And I was just like, man, I wish I could have something cool like that. You know, I was barely getting into my career at the time. But super glad you found this. You kept this. You just mentioned that you just got it. Go ahead and tell us a story. How did you find this guy and why'd you pick this car?
Well, I actually had a Gen 2, which is the 2010 through like 13.
The Protege one?
No. So this is the first gen. There's two of these. There's this model, which was like a 7 through 9, 2007 through 9, and then 2010 through 13 is the second gen, which is a little larger, more modern with the hood scoop and stuff. And I love the car. I did full bolt-ons, beat the hell out of it, and it lasted, you know, and I redlined it like every time I could. So I sold that probably in like 2016 because it was slammed. I just needed a commuter, you know, at that time. My buddy picked one up a few months, probably 6 months ago, and I was like, you know what? I need a daily. I have a truck.
Nice.
I'm going to sell my truck, get back into a car. So he picked one up. He also had a Gen 2 and I had one. So I was like, let's be like Mazda Speed gang again, you know. So I got a Gen 1 as well. This was probably picked it up, you know, 3 months ago or so. Lowered it. It did have these wheels, but I did a few things. Lowered it. The mud flaps, the aero kit. I still want to do. It has a B&R S1 turbo, but I do want to do. You know, I just got an access port, so hopefully a Pro Tune, some E85. You know,
man, that's crazy. That's beast, dude. That's super cool. Now, what kind of got you into the brand? Mazda's kind of a low-key brand. They're obviously well known for their Miatas. But I know you had a good experience in the past. But, I mean, have you always considered a Mazda? Or, like, what do you have to say about that manufacturer?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I work for Toyota. So Mazda, I was like, they don't really make performance except for the speeds. And when I had my second gen, like I said, man, I did full bolt-ons and I daily drove it and beat it up, and it never gave me a single issue. And
you had a good experience, and that's why you kind of came back to it. That's awesome.
It's great. The aftermarket, the mods you can do, and these are extremely underpowered
or underrated.
Estimated, underrated, So people come up to you, they thinking it's just a little Mazda, you know. But dude, I've had beat Evos, STIs, Must 5.0s, you know, they don't expect it. It's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, heck yeah. Especially, it's a family hatchback, right? And then you're boosting it 300, 400 wheel horsepower. Exactly. Now, I've heard these things are notorious for a one-wheel peel machine. How do you preserve this transmission? Do you add a limited slip? What have you noticed about that?
I mean, being front-wheel drive, it does have some serious torque steer once you start modding. But I haven't had any issues with transmission. I've had to replace both axles on both of the speeds I have. Once you go low with some power, they just tend to go out. You know, the CB boots just go out. So upgraded the axles. And then you do some things like motor mounts. That rear motor mount is supposed to stabilize the car better. Some better sway bars and other engine mounts, transmission mounts as well, and it makes the car really solid.
So you're very well versed with this platform, and you've kind of been there, done that, and you already know the things you need to do to upkeep it. Exactly. How did you kind of get into the car scene or car culture? I mean, did you have like a changing oil with dad experience, or how have you mentioned you worked at Toyota? How have you grown into this car culture and working on your car?
Yeah, it started when I was, just turned 16, got my first car. My dad was never into cars. My best friend's dad, who I was with probably all the time, he was always building like old Camaros and stuff, kind of got me wrenching on them. But I don't know, my friend that I worked for, he was actually my manager at the time at a little party place when I was 16.
Sure.
He had a Mazdaspeed actually, and he let me drive it we used to do pizza runs for the parties. I fell in love with the car. It was amazing. You can't go wrong with manual. So
Oh yeah, preserve those, and that's cool. So it's kind of like it enveloped you at an early age from just hanging out with your friend and your dad and having a good experience with a fast car, with a fun car.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So since you're very well versed with this platform and there's not too many Mazdaspeeds out there left, what could you kind of advise people if they're looking to pick one of these up? Because like the Ford ST, we
Yeah.
can't get those any longer.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like your next best bet other than a WRX. So what can you kind of advise people when looking out for these cars?
well, they don't make the Speed, the Mazdaspeed. They make Mazda 3 still, and they are the turbo, EcoBoost, whatever, but it's not a Mazdaspeed, you know. And I would say if you're looking for one, I picked this up for like $8,000. The condition of it was really nice, had about 130K miles, but I would just look strictly for the mods that are done to the car, because you can find a bunch of them that are beat up and they all got modifications. If you can find a stock one, obviously that's everybody's goal, build it yourself.
Yep.
But if you want to save money, find one already built. Again, these are great cars, and let's say the motor did go or the turbo did go, they're fairly inexpensive to do a rebuild. And at that point, if it does go, now you can actually build it, you know.
Yeah, a good platform to start with.
Exactly.
So that's good.
If you're looking to find one, I found this on OfferUp, you know.
Perfect.
They're going for a decent price, under 10 grand you can find them. I mean, the miles are kind of up there, but I've had zero issues with the car.
And when this market, you can't complain with under 10 G's, man. I'm telling you. Last question. California wants to transition to electrification in the next 15 to 20 years. What are your thoughts of electric cars in the future, the car culture?
Well, I currently work for Lexus now, and as a sales consultant, so we see the new changes coming. And, you know, personally as a car enthusiast with a gas engine and turbos and E85 and stuff, it's not something I'm excited about. But obviously, you know, Tesla power and the power you can get on an electric motor is impressive, and that's what the future is coming with. Obviously, I don't believe that it's environmentally friendly. You know, yeah, people are charging and they're not using gas, but the main source of that,
all the mining and all the where we get our power is not nuclear
so I
any
think
longer.
it's
You
dumb.
know?
And obviously, with everybody in California who's going to have to be charging, we're already having those power outages, and it's not even into play yet of everybody needing full electric. But we are at Lexus, our next lineup coming up in the next 5 to 10 years will probably be all
Electric.
all
Look at
hybrid.
the new LFA, right? All electric,
which is badass. And I'm not totally against it. I don't think it's environmentally friendly like everybody's saying, but you know, I'm here for it. If it does save me gas money, then it is what it is. You know, put solar on the roof. But I'm excited. I'll still keep these. You know, hopefully there won't be like illegal to drive a gas car on the road.
Yeah, I highly doubt they do that. But like, let's say in 2035, I want to get the new 5.0 Mustang, and then what am I supposed to do? Go to Arizona to buy a car and then try to register it here? Will they even let you do that?
No.
Who knows? You know, and
I think
so
it's going to be a whole country thing. You know.
I know California is doing it. New York's following California. We're always kind of the pioneer with that, and we'll just have to see. But it seems like you're a little open-minded, but you realize that maybe the environmental benefits aren't as strong as they say. Exactly. I haven't done too much research on it, but I always like to ask that question last, just to gauge what people are feeling. But
no, and I don't. Sorry to interrupt, but I don't. Honestly, I haven't done a bunch of research on it, but I've seen all these videos of where all this electric power is actually coming from, and it seems like it's worse than, you know, my gas motor.
Yeah,
here.
well, look at like the lithium, right? And I know that they're trying to build, GM's trying to build some stuff out by the Salton Sea, try to get some lithium out of there. So again, we'll have to see, but I really appreciate your time. I see an Instagram logo. Where can we find you to follow your build?
Yeah, right there on Instagram. I don't really use any other. I use TikTok a little bit. I mainly have a G82 M4.
Oh, dang, dude. Dang, where's that?
I left it at home, want to take the speed out. Obviously, see if I can meet some other speeds out here.
Absolutely.
But I'll bring them for next time if you're here, and maybe we could chat about that as well.
There you go. Can't wait. All right. Well, thank you again for your time. I'm just going to do a quick walk around. I'll make sure to get your Instagram. And very cool.
So Instagram is LOAZECHH. It's pronounced Zach, but spelled with the E. So
that's pretty cool. All right. I appreciate it. Thank you again for your time.
No problem.